Leather doesn't have an age nor a weight. Leather is so strong for fall. We want to show you a great top. Leather for fall. Today on Let's Sew. One of the strongest fall trends is leather. And because I love it anyway, I just am really excited that it's a fall trend because it's fun. It's easy to work with. If you haven't tried it, this is going to be a fun project for you to kind of take on. So I'm first, the top particularly that I'm copying, I was at Neiman Marcus. It was a high-end designer. It's just a really simple wrap, a sleeveless wrap done in leather. And the way wet leather is being used a lot is it's actually being used as the base layer, maybe over a blouse or something simple, but then things are being put on top of it. It's not the final layer. And I think that's interesting because leather isn't really that warm. Obviously, we know when it gets really cold, but it's perfect for this time of year. So that's why I want to get it done. We're going to get it done real quick here, and it's going to be simple. So what I chose is pattern number 650. It's called the No Gap Wrap Top, and I'm doing it sleeveless. Now keep in mind, I saw what I wanted, and so my image is really clear. I'm just going to kind of convey to you what it is I saw and what it is I'm going to do. So I picked the wrap top, again, because the original was that. It didn't have a really big wrap. It was actually, it didn't have a really big tie. So I'm going to use this soutache for the tie. And the tie was not on the edge of the leather. It was actually embedded in the seam. So it tied over the front. Instead, normally when you do a wrap, the wrap is right at the edge of where it wraps. It wasn't. It was in both seams. So you had a little bit of tie on the outside, and I really liked that. I thought it was really cute. So that's what I'm going to use the soutache for. So there's my 4 pieces because I've just got my front, just the 4 pieces of the front and the back. It's a princess seam. It fits beautifully. I'm going to square off the bottom. I'm not going to do it curved here at the bottom like a shirt tail, but that's not a big deal. I'm just going to square it. So I'm going to take the length that it is and bring it up just a little bit shorter than what it is. I'm not going to put a collar, so I'm going to fold this back. And when I use a French curve, there's a couple ways to use a French curve, but in this case, I'm going to switch it to the outside of it. And I'm just going to take from the neck edge here to where it laps, and I'm going to create that to be one line. You can see I folded this back. That's the right line, and then I'll just fill in this gap. So when you do a wrap and you want to do a V-neck, you can either do it this way, and that's just going to show a whole lot more neck, or you can turn the French curve this way and go from this point to this point. You're just connecting those 2 points. It's how you connect it. But you can see this way, when it's convex, it's going to cover a lot more neckline. When I do it, turn it and do it concave, it's inches. It's quite a bit of difference when you go to do a wrap, whether it's concave or convex. I'm going to do it convex. I'm going to do it out because I want this to be a base layer, but I don't want to show a lot of neck. I just want to show off the beauty of the leather, actually. No facings. No, all the edges will be raw. Again, I've seen lots of leather that's done like that, and I love it, and it's beautiful. All right, so I know what I want. I'm leaving off the collar. I've got the 4 pieces. I know where the ties are. I know the length that I want it. I've done all my little pattern work. Not a lot of changes. I'm just giving you kind of a heads up. I know that when I stitch it, I'm just going to stitch it together on the sewing machine, no serger. And then I'm going to open up the seams and top stitch them on both sides. But that's only, the center back's on a fold. That's only 1, 2, 3, it's only 4 seams. It's just not a lot of work. The bottom is going to have no hem, it's going to be left. The armholes, again, no hem, it's going to be left. This is a blouse armhole. I'm going to consider that I'm going to change it to a knit. So I'm just going to raise it up an inch, which is what my knit armhole is, and then connect it to make a little bit smaller armhole. So that's it. I've got a real clear vision of what I want. So now what I need to do is I'm going to tell you how to figure skins. We've got some beautiful skins on our site. We've even got stretch leather now. We've got some black, some brown. I'm doing the brown because I wear plenty of black slacks and I want it to blend with the black. And again, I'm going to tease you that the pattern upcoming for October is going to be perfect with this, and that's what my plan is. But also 1850, we just came from quilted jacket, or we're in quilted jacket right now, and that's perfect over this. Just to make a kimono sleeve that's a little bit longer would be wonderful over this. All right, so let's do yardage. I'm on my phone, I'm at my calculator, and what I did is I took these 4 pieces and I laid them out on fabric so that I would know how much yardage these 4 pieces take. Because our pattern is going to give you sleeve and collar, it's going to be less than that. So in this particular case, it took me 1 yard. Remember, I'm only dealing with 1 piece of each. No front facings, none of that. I'm going to leave it blank. So I've got these 4 pieces. I laid them out on 60-inch wide fabric, and it took 1 yard. So I'm converting everything to inches, and this is your little formula. You'll go 60 inches, that's your width, times 36, that's the length that it took. So 60 times 36 is equal to 2,160. Now, leather is not done by the yard, it's done by the square foot, so I'm going to convert that. And a square foot is a 12 by 12, so it's 144 inches. So I'm going to take my 2160, which is my length times my width, and just divide by 144. Okay, and that tells me I need 15 square feet of leather, is what that tells me. And so these skins are pretty good size, and I'm using 2 of them. And most of our skins are around 8 feet. So if you're ordering from us, just know that they're around 8 feet. So I got 2 to make sure I would have enough. So then what I did on the first one is, because leather doesn't have any kind of grain, I'm just literally laying it out to make sure I can get all 4 pieces, which I can easily, because remember, I can twist these pieces any which way I want to. I could put them all this way if that worked better for me. And as long as I can see that I can get 4 pieces off one and I've got 2, I'm in good shape. The center back is on the fold. So now I feel confident if I can lay all those pieces out that I can actually fold this and create it on the fold. And that's kind of exciting. And I can do this one more than, I can fold this portion more than that. But as long as I can get that right there on the fold, see, I can kind of make that skinnier if I want. It's not fabric. I can turn it any which way I want. And there I go. That's my first piece, and then I'll just cut all the pieces from there. I'm going to cut this, I'm going to sew it. Remember your Teflon foot. Regular thread, no changes there. And I'm going to show you one of the biggest trends for fall, and that is these leather tops. Completely washable. Don't even think that you can't wash it. Just do it in a cold water wash. I, again, have a front loader. No reason to put it in the dryer, but it's not going to hurt it to put it in the dryer. Leather won't shrink. Leather won't do any of those things. For those of you who are not leather people, I did put some vinyl up on the site, and you can try that. It's a light gray. It's very pretty. It just doesn't quite have the drape that leather has. It's going to be a little bit different, but with a princess line, you could go that way too. All right, so we're going to do some sewing, and we'll be right back. So I'm all done. This is the greatest base little leather piece. It's the wrap. I love it. Simple. It didn't take me an hour to sew it. You guys know all the secrets. We've sewn on leather before. We've done it quick, easy, fun. And of course, it's a base for so many things. If I want to put a jacket over it, I can. Keep the ties minimal because I don't want a lot of bulk, because I want whatever to go over it. I just want the leather to be the base. And that's what's going to bring our fashion so current and so on mark with what's going on today. Leather is just really popular, and they're using it for shirts. This particular shirt that I looked at was over $500. This with 2 skins, under $100. So you can see big savings, and I feel so contemporary. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.